Heather Delatorante, Spiritual Awakening Part 2. Okay, so when I was preteen, maybe 10, 11, I remember washing the dishes as my mom berated me. And I had my hands out and a plate was resting on top of them as the water ran over it. And I was internalizing all of my anger. And it made the plate shatter in my hands. So that was an interesting experience. And then I remember another incident that was similar when I was a teenager. I was angry. I don't remember what for, but I was angry. And I slammed the cupboard door, and every single glass in the back row shattered. When my cousin Alan committed suicide, before I even knew, I remember crying uncontrollably, not knowing why I was crying, what it was about. And then later I found out why. I also would have other strange things. I remember I would wake up to a radio alarm clock that would, play the radio when I would wake up. And I had a dream that I was waking up and I heard a specific song. And when I woke up, that's the song that was playing when my alarm actually did go off. I had been reading a book on astral projection as a teenager as well. And I was trying to learn how to do this on my own. And I felt myself start to come out of myself. And as soon as I felt that feeling, it's like I went right back in. I can feel energy in my hands. I rub my hands together, and then I can feel the energy in between my hands. I can grow it, and I can direct it. When I was probably like 12, I started getting into witchcraft. I was very curious about it. I knew that there was more than what I was taught. I knew that there was information missing. I had a friend named Jackie. I went over her house. The movie The Craft was very popular at this time. And I remember we did a chant of earth, air, fire, water, which I would practice, and I did that in front of my brothers, which scared them quite a bit. So I'm sorry, guys. Love you. But I totally freaked them out and had left them alone. Sorry. I had a lot of different experiences. I can't really remember all of them right now. But I had a lot of different experiences as I grew into myself as a teenager. But I was also afraid of what I was capable of. I had a fear of the responsibility required to hold all these gifts. But I also just really knew that there was something more to me. There was more in me that needed to be expressed, that there was a greatness in me that, was just under the surface. And it was hidden by all the trauma. It was suppressed. I used to talk to myself all the time. And I would be made fun of for it. And I would be told I'm crazy. I used to say, you're not crazy as long as you know you're only talking to yourself. But now I know that's not even true. I did a lot of studying as a teenager. I just wanted to know everything. When we were in high school, there was world history, and we learned about the world, a little bit about world religions, not nearly enough, but I was fascinated. I was fascinated by Buddhism and all these, all these deeper spiritual perspectives and practices that weren't being taught in Western society, at least not where I was. It's a lot more common now, thankfully. This isn't flowing quite the way that I wanted it to. I'm kind of like jumping all over the place. I'm a little bit more tired than I was before. I did a truth spell once when I was a teenager, and it backfired on me. And I ended up getting in trouble for all kinds of ridiculous things that were not even a big deal. But I was always getting in trouble for like nothing. I've always just wanted to be free. I always just wanted to be in the middle of the woods and to just live my life peacefully and for people to just leave me the fuck alone. But at the same time, I've got like this inner brilliance that must be shared with the world, because nobody else has my perspective. Nobody else sees things exactly the way that I do. And it's important. I always just want to heal everything. I was always, so I was always very, very interested in how to make things and how to do things myself, how to create things on my own, how things were made, and how to do it naturally, and how can I do it instead of relying on the outside world to provide it for me. One of the first things I learned to make was my own bath salts, and I would make those and give those away as gifts because I was always too poor to buy people presents. So I did a lot of that as a teenager around Christmas time, and I did a lot of art. I made my own art. I would stay up at all hours of the night thinking that I was missing out on something. Fear of missing out. I was an insomniac at 13. I would stay up and read the dictionary. I would collect rainwater. I was always enchanted by the rain. I always loved to play in the rain. I would save the worms that would come up and get stuck on the pavement or in the road and get smushed or fry in the sun later. So I would save them and put them in a safe place on the dirt. I still do that today. I've always had a strong connection with nature and earth. I used to tell my friends and family that I was the eternal mother goddess in mortal form. And then they would say, "Oh, well, if you're the creator of the universe, then why or why this, why that, or what's the answer to this, what's the answer to that?" And my answer would always be, I cannot recall all the information all at once in this mortal state. I came here to experience what it's like to live as a human. And it would be construed as ego, you know. Oh, she thinks she's the creator of the universe, you know. But more and more I find that I actually do embody the Divine Mother. That I am literally a force of nature. I don't need to prove it to anybody. I've proven it to myself many times. There are so many different little experiences. I can't recall them all right now. But I think those were the main ones that I wanted to share. All the really cool stuff didn't start happening until I was getting ready to get married in 2011. That whole year leading up to my wedding is when things really started changing. When I started noticing synchronicities like mad. That's when the crows started coming to me. And maybe they were always there. There's certain animals that I feel a connection to, but then it's always all animals, really. But the main ones from the time I was a child: cats, cardinals, robins, worms, spiders, bats, butterflies and dragonflies, fireflies, I've always loved the water. Always loved the water. I loved swimming. I don't remember ever not knowing how to swim. I think I've known how to swim my whole life. I think I was born knowing how to swim. My mom said that she threw me into the water as an infant, and then I just started swimming. I think that's crazy. What if I drowned? But I didn't, obviously. I was always afraid to like be open about the fact that I was a Wiccan or a witch because I loved my grandmother and I didn't want her to feel like I needed saved because I knew I was fine. Like I don't need to be saved. I'm good. But I don't know, I can't hide it anymore. I don't want to. There's too much at stake right now in the world to keep things a secret. And all lies will fall. I'm going to make this the end of part 2. Part 3, I'm going to just jump right ahead to 2011 and I'm going to share more of that. Thank you.